So, we come to that part of, after building the Master Grade EXS, that it comes to my favorite part of building Gundams. Gunpla model kits or what have you. I am a huge and big fan of the resin kits, or resin conversion kits you would say, dress-up kits for this matter, which is the one we're going to be doing today, within the future, with the Master Grade EXS. And the kit that I chose for it is the Silver Oaks model of this form. Now, Silver Oaks, for the most part, from what I've seen, have been a pretty decent name in the resin game right now. They also have a line of paint that I've seen featured before, and it seems to be pretty good. And I think it's like the alternate version for the Anchor T model that I guess they don't really have out anymore. This kit that I got came from the Gundam Play Store. They're one of the few places in the US that actually carries resin kits right now. There was nothing available on New Type, and luckily they're close to me and I was able to get this, so big shouts out to them for having this one in stock. So let's go ahead, take a look inside and see what we're getting into in this box. Alright, so when you open the box, the first thing you're going to notice, and it's something that you may or may not have, but these are usually parts that didn't make it into the original peripheralated bags after they did, some good quality checks. So shouts out to Silver Oaks for being able to do that. So there's a couple of these pieces that were missing, which is the front plate of the armor and also some of the side vents for the headpiece. So good shot, good looking out on that part, catching that. Next up in the box, you're gonna have yourself a peripheralated bag, which has some water slide decals on it. And these are some Silver Oak ones. For the most part, when it comes to these type of decals, I prefer not to use them because I've learned from building resin kits now, most of these that come with them are very generic. They're very, miscellaneous. Nothing really dedicated to the kit that you're buying, I've had so many misused decals come with kits that made no sense in having it. So, just go ahead and prepare yourself and get yourself the proper decals. I have myself some G-Works that I have for this one in particular. So this one's going to be really good to have for sure. All right, next up, you're going to have yourself the instruction manuals, or, the manual, whatever have you. Inside, you'll get yourself an introduction, a couple of glamour shots are available to see, and then for the next part you get right into it. You see how the build is for the thruster and how the difference in the barrel design for the gun, the one that's currently attached to it, is the resin, I believe, because this is like the original one that comes with the kit, just like this, a side comparison, And up here, this is the head. It's going to be a full resin head, so that's going to be nice to see, along with this V-fin that it has as well, because the plastic one that comes with the kit, I'm not a huge fan of, so I'm kind of grateful for being able to have that. And you get a full resin face as well, along with the back plate and the top part as well. And right here, this is demonstrating, letting you know you're going to need a part of the original kit to go with it. And you can see right here, this is the chest piece that's working with it. For what it seems in general, the only thing you're going to really need is, there's only very few resin pieces that's going to go onto the frame itself before it has to move on. And then we look right here, we see there's some work that has to be done with the legs. It might be some cutting from what I see. Maybe it's not saying anything about cutting, but we'll find out when we get there. Next, you get an idea of how the body is going to look right here, and it's got some pretty good resin coverage on the whole thing, so looks like about a good maybe 85% of this body is going to be resin as well. And on top of here, you're going to have a parts count list as well, so that way you got to make sure all your parts are accounted for within your bag. Don't forget to check yourself behind and mark off what you got. Over here, we're going to have the arms, and the arms pretty much are also going to be a pretty good portion of resin, so that's also nice to see and pretty good to know. And also their count parts for that part as well. On the next page, we got the legs, and the legs are definitely getting a huge overhaul. There's a lot more resin going on here than probably most part of the whole body. There seems to be a couple little bit of white parts here, and the knee part where it holds the little funnel, what have you, onto it, and then the gun part as well seems to be having a different type of build with it. Looks like this is all going to be a part of the resin for the hips, I'm assuming. That's what I'm looking at right here. This is going to be the hip for the most part, and the attachment and how it's going to go to it with this other particular resin. And also, another part that comes with it is actually just a little a head bus, I would say, that you can have for your desktop. It's really nice, simple, clean. So it's a nice little extra feature that they add for you. And as well, you're going to get 4 thrusters, and I think that's pretty much the gist of what is going onto the thruster. So the thrusters are pretty much going to be original, all on their own in themselves. And that's pretty much it. I had come into expecting this to be a little bit more hectic, but you know, simple works all the time. Then on the back, just a little demonstration of, you know, little glamour shot of the back, and as well, it comes with a color guide. And I believe these are going to be the anchor tees, because I've seen these GX numbers before and these Cs before, so these might be the anchor tees, so you got your multiple colors that you can use. So good point to have a good color guide if you plan on giving it this original paint job scheme. I will not be using that because I have my own custom one that I want to do, so that's not going to be needed. I will say, with the instructions, it's very, very limited. You're basically going to have to be going off the pictures, so if you have never really built a resin kit before, I would not suggest this as a starter for anybody. It just doesn't have, it has a little bit too much going on, and because even the chest right now, I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out how the hell am I supposed to work my way around this, because from what it seems like, the entire core fighter that is the chest is going to be replaced somehow. So that's something to think about as well when you're getting started and doing something like this. But this boy is definitely a tier above what most people are going to be able to handle if there is their first time building a resin kit. So tread cautious, I would say. This is a lot more work than it seems like, because for the most part it makes it not look hard because it's just a few pages. But once you break this kit down and having to do all this and test the fittings and make sure nothing's cracked or messed up, it's a whole process, and once you get used to it, you know what it's about. So that's enough talk about that. Let's take a look inside and see how we look. Inside, you'll get 1, 2, and 3 perforated bags. Let's take a look here. For the most part, let's see, this is going to be, this is actually going to be a good portion of the legs, the head, some attachments, joints, small bits and pieces. I see the shoulder parts are up here, and some other parts for the feet. You know, this parts for the feet, arms. This bag. In this next bag, this is the main parts. See, we're gonna have some of the chest parts right here, and see, this is the thing that's crazy. This is going to be replacing the entire core fighter. So it's going to be a surprise to figure out how this is all going to come together once I get to that part. So hopefully it all looks and works out for the best. And you'll see we got the leg units right here, along with the bottom of the feet. And we got the shoulders right here, along with the other side plates for the arms. Yeah, so this is arm, shoulder, this is pretty much the legs and the arm units right there, and along with their armor cover pieces. And in the final bag, we're gonna have our thrusters and these parts that go inside, giving it like that little, whatchamacallit, I can't even remember the word of what it is, but you know, it gives that nice little inside effect of how the thrusters look. And let's see, this is parts right here, and over here for the most part. This is that little head bust that you can make in these few bags right here. And then you have your part for your cannon, gun, the little tripod for it, these other little bits right here, because this is the main bit that I like. It's like a solid, solid rail for the barrel, and I like that. It's very clean. For the most part, the resin looks pretty good. And of course, there's the V-fin. That's very well protected. That's how you know they really care when they go through that much trouble and making sure it doesn't get messed up. Back to that last thought. Yeah, the resin looks pretty decent, to say the least. Let's take a look at some of the panel lining work and how it looks coming out of when it came out of the molding. Trying to figure out a good piece to look at. Like, let's see. Right about here on this piece. Let's see if I can get it focused down. The line work looks pretty good. We're still gonna have to go back through and scribe a lot of this. The legs actually look really well done. Like, the molding is like spot on. There's just a few places that you gotta touch up to make it really matter, which is such a blessing when you get kits like this and the resin comes out of the molding and it looks great like that. You can appreciate something like this if you've been building resin for a while and know how it is to go back through and rescribe lines, or sometimes it's just not good enough, or if the resin is too thin and you end up scribing too deep and you could cut into it, so you end up having to glue over it and remake a whole other scheme for yourself. But luckily, I've heard good things about Silver Oak's like resin so far, and from what I've seen, that's my first one, it's pretty good. And I've ran into some kind of piss poor ones in the past, but these guys seem to be pretty legit. This is pretty much just an overall overlook of what we're going to be getting into. This is a process that's going to take some time. We'll probably break it down into some parts, that way people can enjoy seeing how each part is made simply and all that stuff. But we'll try to work something out. I'll probably get started on this project probably by this weekend. I plan on having a new PC built so I can start dealing with my recordings and editing in 4K, so I can just up my value on the content that I want to bring y'all, because I've been recording on my cell phone this whole time and it's not fun when you're sitting there making a 3 to 4 hours of filming and then editing it down to like a 15-22 minute video like my past ones, and editing on a phone. It's not fun, but I hoped by the time I get this project started, I'll be up and running and I can provide, a better visual for you guys, a little bit more, production value, I would say, then for it to, be something entertaining and something for you guys to learn. That's all we're here for to do. So this has been a quick unboxing overlook of the Silver Oaks resin conversion kit for the Master Grade. Let's go ahead and get that out to show you. Of the Master Grade EXS Gundam. Also, I would like to note that once you build this kit, you can't transform it into the G Cruiser anymore. So, also, if you do decide to have this kit and you want to have this resin kit, just know you can no longer transform into the G Cruiser, into the pilot form, the fighter form. So that will be the real downside to this. So if you occasionally like to, take it off and dust it and then transform it, pose it again whenever you like to do, like how I do. Just know, once you do this, that's it. It's set in stone. Kaput. But I really do appreciate you guys coming through and checking this video out. And I can't wait to let y'all see how well this is going to turn out. So, I appreciate that. Take it easy.